Can you start us off by telling us a touching story that Carrie Flower or Rich Soil Alliance has helped a kid sometime?
Sure. I have so many great stories about children with the series. One special one was we were reading, my daughter and I were reading for a classroom, and we read all three of the books at this classroom. And we were in the hospital. The children were so engaged. We were in the hospital, and this one little boy said, I'm having a hard time. I'm having a hard time. We said, what's the matter? And he said, my grandmother passed away. She died. I don't even understand. She went to the hospital. You know, my daughter and I were so sad, and so we started to talk about it and keep talking about it. And all the little children in the classroom were so comforting to this little child, and he started to feel better. He said, I didn't want to tell you. And then they started sharing their experience, and it really turned out to be, it was so heartwarming. It was just so special. I just can't tell you. It was great. It was great. And that's what Carrie Flower is supposed to do, is start new conversations. Maybe that little boy didn't know he was allowed to talk about that. So that was a great story. I was at a book signing, and this little girl came over and she said to her mom, oh, Mom, I know all about Carrie Flower. And her mom said, you do? And she said, well, like, tell me about Carrie Flower. And she goes, well, this is Meet Carrie Flower. You know, she does healthy things. She lives a healthy lifestyle, whatever she was telling her. She was about 5 years old. And then she said, this is Carrie Flower when she goes to camp. And I have to tell you, Mom, I don't like her in going to camp because she is not nice to the other campers. So her mom said, oh, really? Why isn't she nice? Well, she is making these things up about those campers, and they're not that way at all. So it was really just so endearing the way she was giving the analogy. And then she said, well, at the end of the time, Mary Wildflower, she took their picture, and they really did make a good picture. So Carrie Flower was my friend again.
Is there any story that especially touches your heart that has happened that you just remember from just anything?
So there's a couple stories. Well, you know, one thing, the interns, the interns that read to the classrooms now, so I've kind of empowered them to do it. What really makes me so happy is when they write on their Moodle experience. A lot of interns write, it made me think about keeping healthy sleep, resting. It made me think about keeping a balance. It also made me think about reaching out to other people in the college, not being so judgmental. So I'm happy about that. That's really special to me. And also, I have to tell you, I have my own grandchildren. I have 4 grandchildren. And my oldest son, 9, his name is Mason, and he feels as though he's a part of editing and being a part of the Carrie Flower program, because ever since he's been alive, I've been writing the stories and running them by him. So he's Mumsy. I'm called Mumsy to him. You don't have me down as being the editor of the books. I said, I know it, Mason. But he always refers to Carrie Flower, and his friends all know Carrie Flower. He goes, well, I try to think of what Carrie Flower would do, and it really does kind of help me. And his sisters also do that. So it's really cute. So the children, I will tell you another one. So just recently, we had a play at Pittston area school about Carrie Flower. She's a new student at school. And it was really cute. The first graders put it on. And this probably sums up the whole Carrie Flower program in a great way. We're behind the curtain, and I'm the curtain lady. And there's about 12 little first graders ready for scene one. And they said, oh, there's something wrong with us. There's something wrong with my tummy. There's something wrong. And I said, because they were nervous. So I said, put your hand on your heart and say, I can do this. So all the little kids that were back there stood in their line. I didn't say stand in your line. I didn't say anything. They put their hand on their heart. They said, I can do this. And they put their shoulders back, and they all had the confidence for when I opened up the curtain. They, had the confidence to go on and perform. And that was for the classroom experience, like they were doing it for their other fellow classmates. So at night, we were doing another act for the parents. And when the parents, we went to open the curtain, the little children said, can you tell me again? Can you tell me? So I said, yeah, put your hand on your heart and say, I can do this. And they did. And that's what Carrie Flower is supposed to do.
What are your hopes for the future with Carrie Flower and Rich Soil Alliance? What are you who are you hoping to touch more? Are you hoping to expand?
Yeah, we're definitely hoping to expand. We're hoping to write more stories about maybe not specific disabilities or specific bullying problems, but just write more stories about situations that happen in school to maybe help children in their transition. And as we had hoped to be the P1, Pennsylvania First Choice book. We're being nominated for that, so we're really looking forward to that. Our vision is to be in every early childhood education center and school district in 2017. So it's a big goal, but I think we can do it.
What is the story that you can think of that Carrie Flower has touched someone the most, that has touched your heart the most?
Okay. So Carrie Flower started 6 years ago when we opened at the Please Touch Museum. And at that Please Touch Museum, we had asked a little girl to be the Carrie Flower actress. We had, and she acted at the Please Touch Museum along with Why I Read. And that little girl was really going through a difficult time. She was in a broken home. Her mom was going through a struggle, and she was really having a difficult time. So she continued to play the cast of Carrie Flower. And unbeknownst to us, Carrie Flower empowered her to take on challenges, to go out for sports that she wouldn't ordinarily go out for, to start singing lessons, to start acting lessons. And she now is in high school, and she has blossomed into the most beautiful young lady. And when I was talking to her just recently, I said, Julia, I'm so proud of you. You've overcome all these obstacles. And she said, thank you so much for inviting me to be Carrie Flower, because she was a role model for me when I really needed her. So if Carrie Flower can do that for Julia and touch other children's lives, that's the whole purpose of what I intended it to be.